free myself from you, yeah.
Everything that brought me alive. Though we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the wrong. We know that will come. We're out up till dawn, but how can I hide it without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Oh, we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence without an alibi.
Welcome in here, ladies and gentlemen, to the Texas Prospect Cup. We find ourselves in week number 2. My name is Wolfie Tuha in the booth here with Alistar. And Alistar, the action for TPC last week was electric. It's one of the best I think we've seen on an opening week. But week number 1's over. Week 2 here. I think players are starting to settle themselves in a little bit.
No, like you're saying, as soon as we get further into the weeks and further into the season, people are getting, situated. Everything's kind of going smoothly now. And we're kind of getting really into the thick of it with these games and the players, of course. We're building a community and building storyline here, making sure everything's going nice and smooth for all the audience out there.
Well, I think the audience is going to love the matchup that we currently have coming up. Crackers versus Just Toast. I think a matchup coming in here where on paper, you're looking at Just Toast. Last year was, I believe, named God Monkey. So it saw himself in the playoffs as a top player. Crackers coming in, I believe, is 6th grader this year, Alistar. So a fresh face in the TPC, fresh face in middle school. What do you think the experience is going to be like right now from someone who's been here versus someone who has just got here?
Well, of course, like any competitive scene, the people who have been here longer, of course, are going to have, as you said, more experience. They're going to be more situated in terms of a competitive situation, have a stronger mental, have more experience in terms of fights and matchups. And with someone coming in brand new, it's going to be really interesting to see how they adjust and how fast they can be situated into the scene and really make a name for themselves here.
Well, talking about fast, ladies and gentlemen, remember, they have it's a best of 3 here tonight. So, 3 stocks in the best of 3. You have at least some time to really get yourself going here. The first 3 stocks, well, I feel the mindset is, let me just see the play style is going to look like. Let me see how aggro I can be. And let me just find ways that I can find ways to succeed. In game number 2, that's where you kind of see the adjustments coming in here. But, yourself, what type of gameplay, especially for Crackers, are you hoping to see himself kind of come out with tonight?
Well, I've always been a fan of really fast, high-octane fights. I always love it when you get a nice, speedy character on screen, and you just kind of see some of the most insane combos. I love combo game, and that's one of the things I'm really excited to see from our players.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you're curious on what the matchups looked like last week, make sure to go on Texas Prospect Cup Twitter as well as Instagram accounts to go check out those matchups. But, looking at the rest of the docket, I know we still have Simply Fear later on here today. Another fan favorite saw himself with a very commanding lead in a 2-0 victory last week. But, the competition early on in seasons, how big is it to win these early games? Understanding you have 10 weeks of games to really, really see yourself get better. But, at the early part of the season, this is where you can steal matches where it could just push you into the playoffs.
Well, yeah, like getting a really good lead matters a lot, especially when it comes kind of to a steamroll, really. You kind of want to build up that momentum and really get further into the league, and just being able to keep a nice win streak also makes it much more intimidating for people going against you, because they just see your backlog of games and like, oh, if I see someone 2-0ing everyone across the field, I am petrified going into that match.
Yeah, and it's one where you see those 2-0s and you kind of just say, all right, is player A just dominating? Is player B having a bad day? Or is this what the skill gap looks like? And that's kind of the great thing here of the Texas Prospect Cup being open to all levels, is the fact that sometimes we get those upsets. Like we can mention a 6th grader versus a 9th grader here tonight. And, it's one where you're saying, I want to be able to go up and say, age don't matter. What matters is I'm a grinder. I come out here with full skill. And I think that's what we're going to see out here. And, the coach and Jimothy had mentioned Just Toast. After last season, he has taken Smash to another level for himself. A lot of grinding. His younger brother finds himself in the league this year, and Monkey, who he does not want to lose to. Last year, it was close, Alistar. But do you think that kind of that the desire to just want to be better than at least his brother is really a reason for him to potentially to continue getting better?
Oh no, definitely. And I gotta say, personally, as a sibling myself, there is always that sense of sibling rivalry where you just want to outdo them. You don't want to be outdone by your brother, by your sister, or anyone really. It's just kind of that natural competitiveness that comes from that. And that's really going to be pushing our players here to really go all out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a part of the Texas Prospect Cup, put exclamation mark Discord. Find yourself into our Discord where all the signups and $600 out of the star is what the scholarship prize pool looks like. I believe it's a 400 or 300 here for first place, so that's a big chunk of change. And when you see yourselves in week 8, 9, 10, you want to know you're in the playoffs. You don't want to say I'm trying to get into the playoffs, and one game can really change that difference. And for yourself, you saw the top of the top last season. What was one thing you noticed really from the best year of the Texas Prospect Cup and a person who's returning in Dipper?
Oh, well, as you were saying, from what I've noticed, like, I gotta say, there's not much differentiating some of these players from some of the higher level players that are already well known out there. A lot of these players have great fundamentals, understanding of matchup in the games and how it's played and how they understand it. And it's just really getting them into that scene, starting out, that is the differentiating factor where they're all at the same level and just trying to make it through.
Well, making it through, still waiting on the players here. And I think for the players, you have a coach, you're representing your school. Having the coach is different than finding yourself as just a local, and it's one where you're kind of saying, all right, what are the adjustments? My coach is right there. He's watching me. He's guiding me. And on stream, the lights are bright. This is where for Crackers, you can't crumble under these moments. You can't get soggy and say, hey, I don't know if I can really get to the point of it. For his first time on stream, I'm looking for him to make a statement. Game number 1, come out here, show everybody what you have in store for the Texas Prospect Cup. Only top 4 from each district find themselves moving in, and this is the first time we find ourselves in a 4-district team in a 4-district league like this. So last year top 16 off of one pool. Do you think that kind of plays into the nerves a little bit more and saying, hey, there's 8 people in my district, I have to get top 4 just to be able to find myself on the land?
No, yeah, and that really goes to show just how strict it is with like how you have to perform. There was kind of like a safety net, as you said before, where you could make it into the top 16 and still progress. But now in the top 8, anything, and now as the pool and the bracket gets smaller, the nerves build up because there is less of a chance to get in now, and you really need to compete at a much higher level to get into those final spots.
Well, the final spots are very slim, and it's one where I'm feeling for a lot of these younger players is, getting acclimated. I remember in season 1 of the Texas Prospect Cup, where all these players were getting used to the weekly competitions. It's where they said, hey, around week 5, week 6, probably after the bye week, I see myself understanding how to win matches, because it's different than winning stocks, especially in a competitive nature like this. You can win a stock, you can win 2 stocks, you can win a game, but can you close a series out? Is there anything to that really plays on why experience is a big factor of knowing how aggressive to be in certain moments when either you're up or down?
Well, yeah, as you said, through experience, you kind of learn as you're down in a stock not to let it get to you, or even down a round or a game. You do not want to lose the mental game, and being able to pick yourself back up and be able to know that it's not over just yet and that you still have a chance matters a whole lot in the end, because you could be down and almost out, but you're still not out, and you could always claw your way back up. And that's the most important aspect about any competitive game, and especially here for Smash Ultimate.
So, we always see the predictions coming up, and in a second, Twitch chat's going to have a chance to tell us what their predictions are going to look like. But what are you thinking, Alistar? Who do you feel is taking this series? How far in the series do you think we're going to get into?
I think we're going to get pretty far. I can't wait to see how some of the final rounds are. And I really want to see, like, for prediction-wise, I want to see what the newcomer has to go. I always love voting and rooting for the underdog. I love being able to see someone making a name for themselves here at TPC and anywhere, really. I want to see how well they do and if they can live up to the hype.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, remember, hit that little green box at the bottom. Get yourself your channel points so you have something to go out and put into the prediction polls. And I'm going to be honest, I get addicted to the prediction polls. I don't know if it's I love being right, or I like seeing the player that I'm hoping win, but it's one where it's just saying, hey, take all my channel points. I really do not mind. It's one where I think, Alistar, we're going to start putting up something here on the desk where you can be able to see our predictions. But I'm going for the tried and true. I'm going to say Just Toast is going to put crackers in the toaster right now and say, hey, extra crisp on this end. And we'll try to see if we see anything different. But I want to see three. I want to see 3 games. I want to be able to see the length of this. I know for the players are saying, no, Wolfie, sweeps, please. We just want the sweeps. Let's go into let's get our win for the week and kind of have good headspace. But I think the people at home, they want a long series here.
No, yeah, and they definitely want, just as an audience member in general, you really want to see it get to those final rounds, the nail-biting hits, being down 2-2, last stock, both at a final hit situation, and it's those moments that really get your blood pumping, and you're just excited to see one mistake, one final hit can decide it all.
Yeah, and this is also a matchup that we will see happening again later on in the season. So with the season being 10 weeks, 8 to a pool, there are 2 rounds that they will see a repeat opponent. It's going to be the round 1 and round 2 matchup. So meaning in round 10, we're going to see Just Toast and Crackers going at it again. So it's one where you're saying, do I show my full hand right now and kind of put myself out there, or kind of leave a little bit for the back end and kind of say, if I can squeeze a win here without showing too much of the type of player I am? Is that kind of the mental here? Or you're saying, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go out here, play the way I play. If I show them who I am, I'm going to show them who I am. I'm just going to get the win.
No, yeah, and as you were saying, I think it really matters here. Like, you have to show your handful. You got to go fast and go out. And coming into the match already, a dual Little Mac matchup right here.
Well, we wanted some dramatics. Welcome in here, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 of a best of 3. Crackers versus Just Toast in a mirror matchup.
Yeah, we got Just Toast with a nasty counter there coming from the up smash. And it's just trading blows here. And already Crackers with the KO in the pocket. Can they close the gap?
Well, closing the gap, finding the heavens. First stock coming out. Just Toast finds himself seeing that one as a quick 2-2 stocks. The exchanges are quick here, Alistar. I'm loving the aggression. And with Little Mac, you're trying to close the distance, find yourself put on big percentage, but the ability for Little Mac to be able to finish off stocks with low percentages is what he's going to look to do tonight.
No, yeah, and Little Mac being one of the heavier hitters in the game right now is just really interesting, because normally when you see a Little Mac matchup, he's not really that great because you can kind of camp the ledge and, bait him. And a nice counter coming right there. And you want to bait the recovery, kind of play into Little Mac's weakness. But since we do have dual Little Macs here, none of them can really do that. So it's an all-out brawl in the center of the stage.
I love it. They're saying we want nothing but hands, and this is where things get interesting. Does have the KO there. One touch could send them off, as this one will not be enough. Loading right back, but back up he goes.
Yeah, and Just Toast gets a nasty KO confirmed right there. And just both of them throwing out smash attack after smash attack. They're really just trying to get some nice counter hits in here on each other. And Just Toast and Crackers are both making very good use of Little Mac's speed and just kind of playing to their advantage right now on ledge.
Well, the advantage coming in, as that will end game number 1. Just Toast. He saw himself lose the first stock, but that's all the stocks he will lose. A big job here from the vet coming in here in game number 1.
No, yeah, and as we can see from our newcomer Crackers, it's really going to be an uphill battle from here, because being able to make a name for yourself really matters a lot. And to see, I'm more impressed with just how fast that match went. And just kind of how even it was. It really came down to the wire. But Just Toast having that advantage in kind of their game knowledge and ability to read the situation really gave them the upper edge there.
Well, this is now here where Crackers is going to have to find a way to just control his emotions in terms of his nerves. Knowing that, hey, this is it. These are my final 3 stocks potentially of this series. I can't see myself kind of go away from what I'm used to. You do see a quick change in picks here. Do you feel something a little bit more natural for him?
No, yeah, probably. Maybe Little Mac was kind of like a pocket pick, something in his back pocket he can pull out at any moment. But maybe we might get to see a main here. And of course, with Robin, we get an ability to edge guard much more fluidly compared to the previous matchup. So Crackers is really looking for those openings and trying to bait Toast towards the ledge to gain an advantage.
Will he take the bait? That's going to be the question. Some good damage getting put on, but still neutral for both of them. And you see Just Toast. He's getting hit a bit, but he does a great job of just rushing right back in, understanding, do not let myself lose this range game. Once I start letting him kind of back off of me, I'm going to be in a very desperate situation, but he's doing a heck of a job just setting up the attacks.
No, yeah, as you said, Just Toast is making great use of the powerful hits coming from Little Mac, keeping up the shield pressure, and just the counter baits him in with the DI and has the KO ready in the pocket already.
We'll see if he can sink into the pocket. Just Toast right now, taking some damage there. We'll be able to see himself back on the platform. And this is where Crackers, you're seeing him slowly working back. If you can find a way to reverse this, allow for Just Toast to lose that first stock again. Yes, in that last matchup, it didn't do anything to the mental. But from him winning so far, Little Mac and Just Toast saying maybe next time.
No, yeah, and he might just be cooking right now, getting a nice smear of butter on that bread. And we can see right now he is running away with this, already a stock ahead and already building up that percentage lead. And he just falls for it again, gets the bait into the counter, and Crackers is really not looking good here.
Oh, this is where Crackers, that experience, and you can really see right now that at Crackers, he has a lot of good glimpses of great potential. It's just Toast is on him. He is not letting him really breathe too much. As this one right back on. Great job there on the guard by Just Toast. Crackers trying to at least get one here.
No, yeah, and you can see Crackers is playing a lot safer now, being hit with several counters in a row. He's not falling for it anymore, and he's making and lands on the platform, but doesn't get a punish off.
And that's going to be the difference. Those punishes, you have to find a way to really see this stock come away. Just Toast has been on this platform for too long, finding something to really see that damage percentile just jump up and, see Just Toast jump off this stage. It's going to be interesting to watch. Crackers trying to finish off this stock.
Oh, yeah, and as I was, and a nice smash attack. Crackers running in too soon, and Just Toast going for the Hail Mary, and it paid off.
And that's kind of where I feel for Crackers. He's just not expecting that extra aggro. It's just saying, I'm just going to bust in here. But with Little Mac, you have to find a way to punish that aggression. Set little traps up. See if you can put him into a mental battle where now he knows that I can't just sit here and try to land blows. I'm going to get countered out of my mind. I need to try to mix it up. But it's been very simple gameplay so far for Just Toast.
No, yeah, and we got the KO in, and he just runs up. Just Toast taking the second game with a 3 stock, sending Crackers crumbling.
And for what a game seemed to have looked close early, Crackers just was not able to continue on the series. I think Just Toast lost that first stock and said, no more. I am going to put myself back into the dominant position.
No, yeah, and you could really see just the difference in level of experience here coming from Just Toast and Crackers.
Yes.
And it really showed. I want to mention that Crackers at the start was falling for counter after counter, but kind of towards the final stocks, they kind of realized they shouldn't be baited in, but they just couldn't do anything about it. They didn't know how to proceed, how to punish it.
Well, and I feel for Crackers. You're in week 2. You got put up against one of the top competitors. This is where the seeding kind of doesn't go into your favor. Knowing that for Crackers, since he didn't have last season, saw himself in a lower seeding. So I feel he's going to get better mid-season. Start going towards the mid portion of this district. I think after a win under his belt, it could really lift him off. But for the young player, I'm saying don't put your head down. Keep looking up and just keep seeing where the skill gap is and how can I find a way to just shorten it.
No, yeah, and we really want to see that from our players. The adaptation, the learning experiences, trying to see how they build themselves back up from this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, to continue building up from this, we'll find ourselves in a quick break. I think we have another game coming up, but the admin's trying to see what that looks like. Alistar, we have some more Smash coming up.
No, yeah, and I'm excited to see what else we have in store.
Oh, so before we even get out of here, Glitter versus Emmy. So Emmy coming in here from Collegiate Academy finds himself also a brand new player, but oof, Glitter, the last year middle school player of the year, last week's 2-0 sweep champion. I hear they're about to come out with a quote from him. Look at our socials for that. This is about to get crazy, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss out. Be right back.
And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. See it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Glitter versus Emmy. Now, I got to see Glitter perform last time in the previous week. What an insane player, you know, from the Terry pick right into the Steve. And, you know, Wolfie, I want to know, what do you think of this matchup that's coming up right now?
It's gonna be a tough one. Emmy, buckle up. Glitter is no joke. Glitter knows how to get it going on. Man sparkles under the lights, and I think for Emmy, you're gonna have to just say, I need game one. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Glitter is too good of a player to not throw the kitchen sink at. But to that extent, I will also want to see if Emmy's going to be able to handle this aggression.
No, yeah, and as we can see that Glitter is on right now on the Isabel. It's really interesting, and Emmy on the Corrin. So right now we just kind of have both characters want to space each other out, and it's keeping that perfect spacing that matters a lot right now.
And I like this early on in seasons as well. Glitter was a player back at Lance who was willing to switch out quite often. So, in the regular season, allow yourself to get a little risky, especially here in game one where things don't matter. You can always try to change things out. Let yourself have a pick that you may not be too comfortable with, but it's one where it's comfortable enough to play on stream, though.
No, yeah, and that's always a deciding factor right now. And Emmy already getting a deciding lead. We saw in the previous week that Glitter was kind of the dominant person in that matchup, but right now it seems to be more of an even fight.
Well, you see, the confidence from Glitter. He said on stream, hey, I had to switch to Steve because I just felt I was just better at this point. And, you want that from a young player who finds himself in his freshman year. And, for Glitter trying not to lose his first stock, Emmy putting on some big damage here with 102 on it, but won't be able to find too much more. Glitter trying to reverse things here, will find himself back on ledge.
No, yeah, and some people, and the nice toss out getting the stun,
Nice.
but Glitter wasn't able to run up fast enough, but it doesn't matter.
Nasty.
Secures the stock. That was disgusting.
Yeah, that was one where you just go lock him up, put him in jail. No one should be able to do that. Wow, Glitter coming out with a very impressive just stock change there. And I thought for once, I was like, wait, Glitter's getting dominated? Is Emmy the real deal? Glitter just said, let me get comfortable really quick.
He had to sit up in his chair, and like real Glitter, he's hard to get rid of. He's going in hard and fast, and he knows that he wins this. And he gets a nice 2-tap, but doesn't quite get anything off of it. Emmy finding the opening, getting back on stage.
Hey, like Glitter, there's microplastics. You're never getting rid of them once they get inside you, and this is where Glitter is just going to be working inside of Emmy right now, just giving him no space to breathe, continue pushing out. Great job there on just the ability to shield up, and it just seems that he just knows everything that's coming out right now.
No, yeah, and Glitter's making very good use of the ranged options right now. Emmy is trying to find those openings, and we do see him finding one right now, and gets the pocket, and Emmy now having to kind of decide what to do right now. They could toss it out in a moment, and it gets canceled in the clash. Oh, but we get a nice reversal, rolls right into the rocket in the fire hydrant, and gets sent upwards into the blast zone.
Well, the last zone continued to be there, but again, it's just a great job from Glitter. You see him just taunting, just standing right there saying, what are you going to do? How are you going to be able to really push me off? And right now for Glitter, he just seems he's in a comfortable position. He's not sweating all too much. He's having fun out there.
No, yeah, and as we can see that Glitter's making very good use of that pocket, taking the ranged projectile and using it against Emmy in a very creative way, keeping their spacing, and Glitter goes for the spike but doesn't quite find it. Emmy knowing what's up and wouldn't allow that to happen on stream.
Well, you saw the stop sign, so you're not going any farther than this, but 161, Emmy is itching for that stock. She wants it. She's saying, I need it. If I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose with one stock under my belt, but Glitter won't allow it. This one getting kind of dangerous. Emmy evades some big damage. Glitter taking some room here, trying for the grab. Won't see too much as Glitter right now doing a heck of a job evading.
Oh yeah, and Glitter just kind of standing there menacingly. Emmy doesn't want to approach. It's a really dangerous game and gets the stock that you were talking about. They will not be 3-stock this game.
And at the very least, you say, like you mentioned, no 3-stock on me. I got one here in this first matchup, and that to the very least is one where I feel Emmy is going to be putting back into the memory bank and saying, hey, we can go back, look at some good film, heck of a job, but let's see, can you get 2? It's not impossible, but it's a bit improbable.
As you said, it's going to be really difficult for Emmy to close the gap right now. Glitter sitting comfortably at 17% on their second stock, and they find an opening, but doesn't go with a follow-up. Tries to throw the pot, but doesn't find anything. It almost gets hit by the hydrant.
And Glitter, you're seeing him started to take his foot off the gas a bit. I'm not too sure if it's because these two schools are near each other, or he's saying, hello, how are ya? I'm going to wait until the fans because Emmy can't get back up. Only man on the platform, and sees himself get a 1-game lead here in the best of 3 series.
No, yeah. And as you were saying, Glitter with the taunts on stream, that is quite, that is a little thing that I personally am guilty of. I love taunting whenever I get a stock lead. I always love showing off a little bit, but it just kind of goes to show when the other opponent sees that, it kind of gets to you. I gotta be honest, it gets to you.
It does, and there isn't one where showboating, sportsmanship, but Glitter is just saying, I'm just gonna stand here. You're giving me too much room, and in a play style where I feel that I don't feel too much pressure to do too much, because he was just telling Emmy, come to me, come on, you want it? You bring the action to me. I'm just gonna counter you all game. I'm just gonna read what you're doing. Great job baiting. Great job just finding himself in moments where I think he went up to high percentage just to make Emmy more aggro.
Oh, and we get a nice swap from Glitter again onto the Pyra and Mythra. Emmy staying true to the Corrin, and let's see if Glitter can gain any more style points in this matchup.
Oh, this is where I think Glitter, he's been practicing a lot, and with his character, I feel he really knows how to use her, but Emmy right now doing what she did back in early in the first game. That's take some big damage onto Glitter. Glitter trying to change the tide here.
No, yeah, and it seems that Glitter has really good understanding of the openings right now and finds one right there. Gets a nice clean smash attack on Emmy, even though they went in. Already swaps to the Pyra, trying to close out the stock as quick as possible and really building up the pressure, trying to keep Emmy in a bad position.
And I like this pick as well. Pyra Mythra, I feel, is just so versatile in what you're able to do. And it can really keep the opposition off balance as Emmy losing a quick stock there. That's just unfortunate. I think may have just misclicked and just wasn't able to get back on ledge.
No, yeah, I think Emmy was trying to hit him below the stage with the recovery, but they mistimed it and they just got caught.
And that's where you're saying I don't mind the risk right now, and Emmy's willing to put out the risk, understanding, hey, right now Glitter on fundamentals he's leading at it, but great recovery back up there. Emmy in the midst of rock bottom found himself coming right back up. What a job.
Yeah, Glitter got a nice read on Emmy right there, but Emmy not being high enough percent for it to really matter much. But as we can see right here, that Glitter is keeping up the pressure, and as you said, Pyra Mythra is a really versatile character, being able to swap from a really fast and nimble speedster to a slow and hard-hitting bruiser. It really matters a lot in being able to close out those stocks.
This game matters for Emmy, knowing if it wants to continue on the series, she needs to be able to get it. Glitter sends her off. That's going to put her 1 stock remaining. 95 damage onto Glitter. Can Emmy at least grab 1 again?
Of course, we want to keep that mental, and it seems like Glitter wants that 3 stock. They are thirsting for it, and they will be fishing. And Emmy is it's just not going their way. They are really in a bad position, and all their moves are just being read, shields it perfectly, and just getting center stage.
Well, that's why when we look at Glitter, everyone can say, oh, it's hype. They're hyping Glitter up, middle school player of the year. No, he's the truth. Glitter really is. And when we look at the competitors, there's only a couple people that can really stand in his way. And one, hopefully we see on stream soon here, is going to be Dipper, who did lose to Glitter last season in the semifinals, and Glitter dropped them into lowers. Dipper ended up winning the rematch and finding himself in second place, but I think Glitter has a lot to prove and doesn't want to say, I want 2, I want 1, and I want this game. Glitter shining bright here in week 2 for the Texas Prospect Cup. Got himself a sweep in week 1, gets the janitorial staff working some overtime here in week 2.
No, yeah, and as you were saying, Glitter completely sweeping the competition there. No contest. It quite literally goes to show that even if you're a newcomer, you can still make a name for yourself, and Glitter is living proof.
Well, Glitter being living proof of what we all want to be, and that's good at Super Smash Bros. But, it's one where I think he is just continue to show the consistency, and that to me is the most impressive portion, is you can be good. You can be good on LAN, but can you be good every week? And right now, he hasn't had much of a test yet, but he's showing that hey, there's levels to this, and I'm not trying to be 3, I'm not trying to be 2, I'm trying to be number 1.
No, yeah, and as we get into the games, further into the series, we really just see the best of the best start climbing, going against each other, and the match is getting closer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we always try to say the party has to end, and unfortunately, we have no more matches, Alistar. And oh man, it was a heck of a day here. I think we learned a lot, and that is veteran experience knows how to win Smash games.
No, yeah, definitely. It just goes really to show that the best of the best are the ones who practice and, really understand the game to a fundamental level.
And that's the beauty of it. Is that practice is wanting to develop those core those core fundamentals, and Glitter has been putting it on. He wants to be able to be known as the best. The young man, I feel right now, he's definitely on the right track. But how's the rest of the season going to go? We're going to have to find out. But before we get out of here, Alistar, anything to tell the people at home?
Of course, if you want to sign up, if you want to show up, you can always come in. We always have our collegiates and everything open to anyone who's willing to try in our area. And as well, to anyone watching, thank you for showing up. It's been a nice week, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying this just as much as we are.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash the heart button. We're growing every single day. We need your help to continue doing it. But big shout out to Taco as well as our admin staff as Hondo and Zoro for all that they do on the back end, so everything can happen here on the front end. We'll see you all again next time. We love you. Peace out.